Well, man, I'm looking forward to getting into your life as an AI pioneer, an entrepreneur, an investor. So thank you again for taking a minute out. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. So thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So let's begin our journey with 5 years ago, this pandemic started, rearranged so many things for all of us. Hopefully, we've all come out stronger. Ultimately, how did you make it through that time period, and how much of living through that influences what you do today?
That was a very difficult time for all of us, something we none of us had experienced before, no different for me. On one side, it was super personal for me because my mom, who did recover from COVID, but later on, due to complexities, ended up losing that battle. So very personal to me there. But on the other side, I got a gift of my adult kids coming home and staying with me and enjoying, maybe almost 2 extra years with them at home, and the pleasures of it, and sometimes the pain of it, both. And so that was fantastic from a personal standpoint. From a business standpoint, of course, I had a chance to just exit one of my AI businesses right before pandemic. So I was able to connect, coach, and mentor a lot of early stage businesses and try to pay it forward. And that stayed with me. So both that, hey, we have to as humans be responsible with the things we do and be prepared for crazy things. But at the same time, in this time of need, we all need to pay it forward and come together in businesses, as communities, as individuals, to do more, and for each other. And that has stayed with me.
Yeah. So let's get to the brass tacks of what you do right now on a daily basis. I want to put you in front of a bunch of kids. It's the best way to do it. It's career day. Let's say they're 10 or 11 years old, and one of the kids in the back of the room, the real curious one, is like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you
Yeah.
answer them?
Well, today I'm just a coach, mentor, and investor to businesses, especially focused on artificial intelligence, AI. And that's been my passion, and that's part of the work I do today. I have many small companies, many publicly listed companies who I support, coach, and mentor in this space.
So what did you want to be when you were 10 or 11 years old? What was your dream life?
Uh, 10, 11 years old, I thought I wanted to be a pilot.
Okay.
But of course, life has better plans for us, and I'm very thankful. As amazing as being a pilot would have been, I'm very thankful that I had an open mind. I had people around me who allowed me to experiment, and life took me from a spot to other, and voila, I run into engineering, then technology, then AI, and that's where I have stayed.
So take me back to where you were born and raised. What were the foundational elements of being an entrepreneur, of being in technology and being successful? How did those seeds get planted in you?
So actually, Joe, it's a fantastic question. I'm the first person in my whole family across my mom's side, dad's side, multiple generation who ever started a business. So, there are a lot of great value systems that got ingrained about, hey, being super efficient with the resources you have. Growing up in India, that was ingrained in me. The value of learning and education was ingrained in me. But everyone in my family, uh, I won't say discouraged me, but cautioned me, saying, "Are you really serious? You really want to start a business? Nobody has ever done it in our family. How would you do it?" But they were all supportive, and that support and just some of the fundamental values came in handy, especially in difficult times.
So who's been kind of a hero for you? Who's been an inspirational force for you to be so successful and to push yourself the way you have?
I would say both my parents, came from very little and did amazing things in their lives. And that set the right tone for me to say, hey, there are bigger things that are possible, doesn't matter where you start. And that has always inspired me. Of course, I'm super inspired by my wife, who actually one night told me, are you going, this is what, 30 years ago, that are you going to just keep talking about you want to start a business, or you're going to one day actually do it? And next week, I resigned from an excellent, well-paying job and started on this journey. And now, if you ask me, I think every time I talk to my adult kids, I'm not only inspired but learn things that as someone who's over 50 would have never learned just talking to my peers, doesn't matter how much experience they would have had.
So if you could meet one person out there that's a tech mind, a entrepreneur guru, somebody that you admire that maybe would help you on your path, who would you love to meet and hang out with a little bit?
Well, the obvious choice in the tech world for all of us is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So, there are things that I love about him. There are things maybe I'm not so excited about him. But from a technology perspective, his ability to do great things with limited resources, but more importantly, limited time. Some of that I had the joy of actually seeing it from inside is phenomenal. That's somebody I would like to meet, of course. Spiritually and personally, it would be somebody like the Dalai Lama,
Yeah.
because there's more to life than technology and business. So,
So you've been in AI for a long time, and it's really become kind of a catchphrase, and the public consciousness has grabbed onto it in the last couple of years. But you've seen it for decades. Talk to me a little bit about how we've gotten to this point. What have you seen over the spectrum of AI that encourages you with where we're going?
so of course, there's tremendous excitement, a lot of hype, which is probably real because AI is that technology. So let me give you two examples here. First is I started my first AI business in 2012. Yeah. 2012, AI, this is pre-chat GPT,
Yeah,
and AI was a bad word. I
yeah,
would go to the customers, and can you imagine, like 2012, somebody come into your business and saying, I'll use AI to solve all your problems? They literally said, hey, should we laugh at him now or should we let him leave the room?
yeah,
You would send in a contract which said AI, they would not sign it because nobody could understand it.
yeah,
And you fast forward 10 years or 12, now nobody can do business without saying they are doing something with AI.
yeah.
So I've seen that cycle go from it being kind of voodoo, don't know what this is, people not trusting it, to, oh my God, the world is changing. On the macro side, something that is very interesting is AI is the first technology since internet that's going to change the world GDP growth by more than 10%. So we are like in that era where Jeff Bezos was, let's say in like 1999, and thinking about what, selling books on internet. We're in that era with AI today.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between what happened with internet, e-commerce, as compared to what is happening with AI. And Joe, that is that all the work all the effort and all the growth and evolution that happened with internet over, let's say, 30 years is going to happen in an AI world compressed in 5 years. So, to your question, that creates tremendous opportunities and tremendous challenges in front of us. And we are maybe at early stages of understanding what AI could do for us.
And I think the one thing about AI is that there's a level of people that know how human beings can get and how we can drive things into the ground and potentially get nefarious with it. Are you worried about the human intermingling with AI and something going wrong?
Certainly. I mean, it is AI is a superpower, and when you give superpower in hands of people, and there are clearly bad actors in the world, but even in hands of people who are just curious, you could create trouble as much as you can create value. So something we should all govern, make sure there are clear boundaries set to the extent that is possible. Would we run into some issues? Certainly, all new technologies do so. But we are smart as human beings. We have seen this happen in the days of internet and electricity and computers, and we know how to manage these superpower technologies that have come in our lives. But am I concerned about it? Certainly. On one side, you can have a single individual become a unicorn or a $1 billion valued company. But on the other side, the same individual could probably create weapons and crazy outcomes to detriment of the society individually, right? They don't need a lot of infrastructure in an AI world, and that is scary.
Yeah. So how do you balance all of this out? You're obviously very successful, very busy, lots of things going on in your life. How do you balance the business and the personal life, taking care of your soul and yourself? What is that that gets you up every day to do it at the best of your ability?
I think this stage, having gone through many cycles, started business, scaled, exited them out, life has been good. But what literally, if we're at a stage where if I just wanted to watch TV and travel, you could do that. But that is just not exciting, right? The idea is how can we pay it forward? And the things that we are passionate about, especially I'm passionate about, which is AI and the impact it will have on business and society, that knowledge, those experiences, those ideas are worth sharing. And every time I go talk to a group of people, students, as a speaker, you could see that there is a change in trajectory in their thinking, in their lives, and in their businesses. And that is very exciting to me. And that's what allows me to wake up all charged up every morning, ready to go. And to answer your question about balance, balance is always hard because I look at it like it's never 50-50 or balanced every day. I think I'm balanced maybe over a quarter or balanced over a year. But if you give a given day or given week, that balance is difficult, other than, of course, maintaining some power of routine.
So let's say you walk into a room with all of the people that you've worked with and hired and clients over the years, and you walk through them up to a podium and you can tell them one fun story, one fun thing about you that would humanize you that maybe they didn't realize. What would you tell that room?
That's a great question, Joe. So, of course, having gone through this journey, there are a lot of PR and a lot of great marketing teams that I work with, and they make you sound all glamorous and all the things that you do. But the most fun story, and it was a difficult time for us. My wife and I both worked for a great large company in Detroit area. Both had fantastic incomes, and we had just been married a couple of years, so we had no kids. So we went from there, which is two income, no kids, to within 3 years, we had two kids and no income because I had started my business. My wife was supporting me as well as she wanted to spend more time raising our kids. We went from there to adding second lien on our mortgage and creating some serious issues where my wife had to send some money to her dad that, hey, in case nothing worked, at least I can come stay with you. And I got a few $1,000s to survive till we find a
Wow.
job. Of course, things worked out. Universe had our back, and but yeah, that's rare, and I do share that story with many friends, family, and past customers,
Wow.
and they're like, "We didn't realize that's what you were going through.
Yeah.
We only saw the glamour part of it."
Yeah, for sure. So of all of this, all of these accolades and achievements and evolution that you've had in your life, what are you ultimately the proudest of?
Well, firstly, if I'm just known as a good person, that is the most important part to me in this life. All the other achievements, I have patents, I've had some chance to build some businesses, I've had chance to mentor, coach companies and people who did even better, is all very exciting, very satisfying. But being a good person and beyond that good person, I'll give you best compliments I have received in my life have been one day my daughter, this is many years ago, she was probably 6 or 7, and we are playing, and she gets mad at me and says, Dad, you're like just like a little kid stuck in a big person's body. And she didn't realize it then that, but those kind of compliments matter the most. My son one day tells me, he's like, Dad, you are a problem. Like every time there's a fire burning, you will run to it. What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
Though they didn't realize, but those things are very close to my heart.
Absolutely. So everyone out there, Dilip, has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Well, I'm just a seeker, right? I mean, I'm just a seeker. I'm just trying to get better every day, learn every day, be productive every day, be there for everybody around me, and make them better every day. That's what I aspire to be. And but of course, I do pride myself in the situations at home, family, good, bad, ugly. When things get really bad and there is really no outcome, typically I'll get that call. I get that call from my parents. I get that call from my kids. I get that call from my businesses and portfolio. Yeah, slight ego there, but I really enjoy that part. If it's not solvable, I want to be there to see if it can be.
Yeah. So if anyone out there wants to reach out, they want to learn more, any of the good business in your world, where can they go?
Uh, they can just reach me on my email, which is my first name Dilip, Dilip, at my last name Dubey, Dubey .ai. And Dubey.ai is a site that has some background on what I do and how I've done it.
Okay. Dilip, this has been wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. Continued success.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you having me here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hello, friends. Joe Dimino here. I just wanted to let you know that after 30 years or so, I have finally released my first book of poetry through the mighty Spartan Press here in Kansas City, Missouri. As the creator and host of both Neon Jazz Radio and the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino podcast, along with being a visual artist, I'm ready to embark on a new adventure and want you to be a part of it. You can get a copy online via Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and actually on the streets in Kansas City at the great Prospero's bookstore off 39th Street. You can also visit joedimino.com for links to the book, to more poetry, and everything in my world, including paintings. Thanks for all of the love and support over the years, and please dig the words.